This morning, the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis says that less students are pursuing careers as pharmacists, which means staffing shortages are expected in the future. The owner of Grand Pharmacy in Hannibal says they're currently not experiencing a staffing shortage, but they expect to see one in the future due to a lack of new students entering higher education for pharmacy. Couple that with more pharmacists retiring, you have a shortage. The owner of Grand Pharmacy says while they're not having issues, it can lead to shuttered pharmacies.
If a business was having trouble getting a pharmacist to cover shifts, then sometimes the only answer is to shorten the hours, close the doors, and do what you can to adjust so that.
Gilmore says prospective pharmacy students can enter numerous jobs in the field, including those in hospital, pharmacy, and clinical care. He expressed concern about this shortage heading into flu and cold season. He says Grand is at a normal staffing level.